Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips to be able to eat what you want and still get the results you want. The first thing, we have to start with what is the most important. The most important factor here is your calories, and people will overcomplicate what that actually entails. You know, they will create very strict restrictions on what they can and can't eat. But ultimately, it boils down to a simple equation: calories in versus calories out. Now, if we know how many calories you're consuming, it gets significantly easier to figure out if you're at maintenance, if you're in a surplus or a deficit. To lose weight, of course, we need to be in a deficit. The next part of this equation is your protein consumption. Protein is going to really impact your composition. So if you're consuming enough protein, then alongside with a good training regime, you're going to maintain much more muscle mass if you're consuming an adequate amount of protein. Calories are going to determine whether you're gaining weight, staying the same, or losing weight. Whereas when we're consuming the correct amount of protein, we're going to kind of shift that into, okay, now the body is going to maintain that muscle mass and we're going to just be losing the body fat. So first priority, remember, is your calories. The second is your protein. Do not overcomplicate it more than that. Point number 2. Remember, we've now got our calorie and protein target. As long as you have these 2 targets, it's going to enable you to be significantly freer than if you just have a diet plan. And what this does is it enables you to live life exactly how you want to, with the foods that you want to, that align with the enjoyment that you want to have from the foods that you would choose to consume naturally. So what does that mean? It means that we're no longer burdened to chicken, rice, broccoli. This is how I used to diet. I used to diet like that when I was competing. And I can tell you there's nothing more depressing than having 3-4 meals a day that you don't enjoy, which means you're not going to stick to it for the long run. So the flexibility is key. It's going to give you lots of variety, and it's going to make the consistency very easy. So point number 3. With flexible dieting, people think that it means that you can just eat as much junk as you want. Now, technically you could, but internal biomarkers are going to be really negatively affected by that. And as I speak, this is coming. So you can't just eat junk. You could, but your internal markers are going to go through the roof. You know, you're going to be more at risk of diabetes, more at risk of cardiovascular diseases, those sorts of things. So what I do with all my clients and myself is I implement an 80-20 rule. What that means is 80% of the food is nutritionally dense, and then 20% of the food is what we would deem to be treats. I hate that terminology, but it's probably the easiest way that I can explain that. So 80% would be good foods, and 20% would be your stereotypical bad foods. And then that means that it completely opens up the door to what you can do. It completely makes things so free. It enables you to be able to go out with friends, go on date nights, guilt-free, because what you're doing is focusing on the most important parts. That equation, we go back to that, it's your calories, it's your protein. Point number 3 to getting shredded this summer is tracking your calories. So whilst you're out and about, it's more important than you can imagine, all right? So for example, we're at this restaurant here, we've got 2 sandwiches, both aren't for me, so no judging, one's for Sam. And what we're gonna do is, rather than just eating them and having no awareness of what we're consuming, remember, we've got our calorie target, we've got goals to hit, so we need to know what we're consuming so that we have the balance of the rest of the day, right? So use your phone. Now technology is at a point where you can have an app. MyFitnessPal is one of many, where you can literally search for the item that you're eating It will take a little bit of practice, and what I recommend doing is finding the item with the highest amount of calories before you put it in. So let's say this, I've searched on this now, the highest calorie item for ham and cheese was 550 calories. So I'm gonna say that this was 550 calories. This one was around about the same. So bacon, lettuce, and tomato. This one was around about 500 to 520. So I'd always go to the upper end of that, so that I'd rather be overestimating the calories than underestimating it. So track your calories and start building an awareness of what you're consuming. Point number 4 for flexible dieting is the fact that you have more freedom enables you to reach this openness, this level of safety where you don't experience cravings. Because the beauty of the flexible dieting is if you crave something, you can have it. No food is now on a pedestal, or no food has to be eliminated or restricted. And what that does is enable you to enjoy the things that you really want and still get the results that you desire. There's a dog on the roof over there. Point number 5 is flexible dieting teaches you how to live your life, how to maintain the results that you've got whilst dieting, and how to achieve them living the life that you want to. Anybody can stick to a meal plan or a diet for 4, 6, 8, 10, or even 12 weeks. But the problem comes with after that diet. What do you do? How do you live? How do you keep those results? When it's gatekept behind this diet, you know, it makes it very hard for you to keep those results. So flexible dieting will give you the tools to be able to go out to restaurants, have the foods that you want to eat, and still get those results. It's a really crucial thing. And if you don't have that understanding, then as soon as you stop that diet, you're going to gain the weight back, which is what happens to 90% of the people. You've seen it, I've seen it, you may have even experienced it yourself, but that is why flexible dieting is so crucial. So that was my 5 tips on how you can eat whatever you want and still get the results that you desire using flexible dieting. That's it for today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you click that bell to be notified for new videos, and I'll see you in the next one.